This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. China set out urgent plans to protect rural communities from COVID-19 on Friday as millions of city dwellers planned holidays for the first time in years after the government abandoned its stringent system of lockdowns and travel curbs. China's move last week to start aligning with a world that has largely opened up to life with the virus followed historic protests against President Xi Jinping's signature zero-COVID policies designed to stamp out COVID. But the excitement that met this dramatic U-turn has quickly given way to concerns that China is unprepared for the coming wave of infections and the blow it could deliver to the world's second-largest economy. China reported 2,157 new symptomatic COVID-19 infections for December 15th, compared with 2,000 the previous day. The official figures, however, do not capture the whole picture, as testing has dropped and are at odds with signs of widespread in cities where long queues outside fever clinics and empty pharmacy shelves have become a common sight. A judge in Peru has granted a request to extend former President Pedro Castillo's imprisonment for 18 months as the authorities make their case against him on accusations of rebellion and conspiracy, in a decision expected to further inflame political turmoil and protests that have rattled the South American nation since Castillo's impeachment and detention last week. Protesters have demanded the embattled leader's release from prison, as well as new elections and the removal of his successor, former Vice President Dina Boluarte. Boluarte's administration declared a nationwide state of emergency on Wednesday, suspending freedom of movement and assembly in a bid to quell the unrest, which has left at least 8 people dead so far. In Thursday's ruling, a judicial panel within the Supreme Court ruled that Castillo, initially jailed for 7 days, will remain behind bars as prosecutors continue their investigation into the criminal charges against him. The decision did not touch on the merits of the accusations faced by Castillo, but a judge heading the panel cited the risk of flight by the former president. Castillo has rejected the accusations against him, saying he is being unjustly and arbitrarily detained at a police facility near the capital, Lima. One senior police officer has been killed in clashes with demonstrators in the southern Jordanian city of Maan during protests over high fuel prices that spread to several cities across the kingdom, police and witnesses said. In a statement, police said the officer was shot in the head late on Thursday while dealing with rioting by a group of outlaws in the city that has in the past seen bouts of civil unrest over fuel price hikes and cuts to subsidies. A police source had earlier said the officer was shot by unknown assailants during clashes in the Husseiniya area of Maan. 4 other policemen were injured, the source said. Witnesses said a long convoy of armored vehicles was seen entering Maan as reinforcements were sent to the neighborhood where the police officer was killed. Youths had clashed with police in several neighborhoods of the city and in the heavily populated industrial city of Zarqa, northeast of the capital, Amman, witnesses said. Anti-riot police fired tear gas in the Jabal al-Abiyad neighborhood of Zarqa to break up protests that broke out in Jordan's second most populous city. Witnesses said dozens of youths also staged a protest in the Tafila neighborhood of the capital, where police chased demonstrators who were chanting anti-government slogans. A landslide killed at least 16 people, among them children, as they slept in their tents at a campsite in Malaysia on Friday, officials said, as search teams scoured thick mud and downed trees for more than 20 people still missing. The landslide in Selangor state bordering the capital, Kuala Lumpur, occurred before 3 a.m., tearing down a hillside into an organic farm with camping facilities. Among those killed were 3 children and 10 women. According to the Fire and Rescue Department, the cause of the landslide was not immediately clear and there had been only light rain in the area. Camper Tel Ling Zuan, aged 22, said one of her brothers was killed and another was being treated in hospital. The disaster struck about 50 kilometers north of Kuala Lumpur in Batang Kali town, just outside the popular hilltop area of Genting Islands, known for its resorts, waterfalls and natural beauty. There were 94 people caught in the landslide, but 61 were found safe, with 17 still missing, according to the Malaysian National Disaster Management Agency. An aquarium in Berlin that was home to around 1,500 exotic fish burst early on Friday, spilling 1 million liters of water and debris onto a major road in the busy Mite district. Emergency services said around 100 emergency responders rushed to the scene, a leisure complex that houses a Radisson hotel, a museum, shops and restaurants, as well as what the Dome Aquarium complex says is the world's largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium at 14 meters. In quote, in addition to the unbelievable maritime damage, 2 people were injured by glass splinters, Berlin police said on Twitter. A spokesperson for the Berlin Fire Brigade said emergency responders had been unable to access the ground floor of the building due to the debris. Search and rescue dogs were being sent to the scene. He added, the spokesperson said it was still unclear what had caused the aquarium to burst. Neither the fire brigade nor the police commented on the fate of the fish. Around 350 people who had been staying at the hotel in the complex were asked to pack their belongings and leave the building. The fire brigade spokesperson said. That is the size of Top Accolade Global News Updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy weekend.